all the jobs and assistantships they were posting. I was getting access to them whilst I was in Ghana. They emailed me saying, okay, now I'm qualified to the next stage. Now they want to interview me. So I was interviewed by the DSO and some two other people who work at the international office.
And do you remember how much you spent in the process?
In fact, I reached out to a Ghanaian professor at the same department.
How does that compare with Ghana?
The first 2 weeks, I nearly gave up.
What about your funding? Is it good enough to take care of all your needs?
The cost of living is very low.
What exactly, like if, let's say, assuming you want to come again, right? Assuming you're not here, you are in Ghana, you want to come. What do you think you would do to make you get funding before you even come? Not funding from a different department, but funding from your department. Do you think you can do that? And what can you do to make you get that kind of funding?
If they have that one too, how to get one?
When I see people with computer science background, I'm always thinking, were they playing with electronic items growing up? I just want to know what motivated you to study computer science.
Well, when you hear the name computer science, you might think it's just about playing with electronics, playing video games, playing with computers and all of that. But then, I bet you computer science and mathematics has no difference. You do a lot of even mathematics than even the computing itself. Yeah. So back in UCC, that's where I did computer science, my bachelor's degree here in computer science. And in fact, I even did physics. I did a bit of physics and more of mathematics and more IT. Yes, yeah, that's the computer architecture, um, introduction to computing and those kind of stuff. Yeah, so I think throughout the program going forward, you the individual, you will know the field to delve into, whether to go into database, to go into cybersecurity, to go into or to continue with the computer science. Yeah, so you look at your strength and then some even go into data analytics and the rest. Yeah, because currently among my friends, some are doing their masters in computer science, myself, cybersecurity, and one in Germany, data analytics. Yeah, we are all from computer science, but then you can delve into different branches. Yeah, at the master's
that makes
level.
sense. So when do you finish your bachelor's degree?
So it was in 2022. But then we graduated in March 2023 because of some delay.
Was it just your department or the whole school?
No, the whole school. The whole school. So, yeah, the whole school. So at the time, it's even delayed. When you want to apply to school, you will start, for instance, let's say in 2022, you have to start by September, October, start emailing professors applying to school before we enter the next year, because most of the applications are closed on January 1st and January, end of January. Yeah, so that one became a problem because if you don't graduate, you will not be able to get access to transcripts. You won't even detailed results, and I think that's not the best. So yeah, we started national service. I think 4 months into national service before we even graduated.
So you started your study abroad journey before you actually graduated, right?
Yeah. I started way before. Well, I started looking out for schools, learning about this process and everything. 2021 when I was getting to fourth year.
Wow.
Yeah, because looking at my program and looking at the country where I'm from, I didn't see any future, with what I wanted to do. So I just had to think fast and then see my next
Which
steps.
means you always knew you were going to study in the US. Wow.
Oh yeah. Not even in the US, but like outside. Yeah. At a country where, technology is advanced, that my work will be appreciated, that, the money is good and all. Yeah.
So how many schools do you apply to? And how did you decide on the schools that you apply to?
Well, I applied to initially I applied to one school, just one school. When I started my national service, and um that school didn't work out. I one way or the other I got denied with that school. So I had to, come back and then reapply to different. So, or I applied to, later on, I came to apply to
Mm.
about three schools.
Do you mind
Yeah.
sharing their names?
And to the three schools, I think the first one was University of
Okay,
Baltimore,
yeah.
Maryland, and Montclair State University. That's in, is it New Jersey? Yeah.
Mm.
And Fort Hays, where I'm currently studying. Yeah. Fort Hays State
So
University.
why these particular schools?
Okay. So, um, well, initially, I, 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 I intended to, seek for funding from the departments where in the various schools where I was applying to. But then and then also from past experience and from my previous visa denial, I realized um the main reason was the funding and also the cost of attendance of the school. Yeah, I realized the cost of attendance was very huge, and that among the three schools I applied, the 40s where I'm currently studying had the lowest cost of attendance. And also, so I felt it was a very good chance for me to use that school, to get my visa. Even though at the time my funding offer wasn't in, I had no funding yet and all of that. But I felt due to the low cost of attendance, it was really going to help me secure my visa with a bank statement. Yeah. So that was the main reason why I settled on the school I'm currently in. That's
Mm.
48 State University.
But Baltimore,
Yeah.
Maryland, that is the cost of attendance is high, right? Did
Yeah,
did
yeah, they were very hard things. Baltimore was around $50,000. Montclair was $46,000. But Fort Hays at the time was
mm, okay.
$24,000. Yeah.
So you mentioned previous denial. When was this?
Where um this was in 2023,
Ah,
July
okay.
2023. Just like I was doing my national service. Yeah, I applied to a private school in New York, which also had a huge cost of attendance, even though I had a graduate assistantship, but
The
then it
deficit
was
was
partial.
huge. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the deficit was so huge. I even had an on-campus internship, even everything added, so that
Yeah.
the deficit was huge. So I went to the interview and then I realized
Mm,
because of the deficit and all that, and in a way it helped because there was no way I was going to be
mm.
able to pay that money, and it was sometimes the decisions of the viewers really teaches us less.
You're
Oh
right.
yeah, because it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I always try to tell students to avoid New York because the cost of attendance is very high. And even if you get funding, sometimes that small deficit is still a lot. So I always, try to
yes.
tell students to, you know. So you the 40s, right? You said you got admission, you didn't get any funding, right? Did you
No, no,
process
no.
your visa without funding again?
Yes, I processed. Okay, this is what happened. When before applying, I emailed the graduate coordinator about funding opportunities, and he said yes, they've sent an approval to the university. The department has sent an approval to the. They have sent a request, sorry, to the university, waiting approval of funds. So I should go ahead and apply. So I applied everything, got my admission, got I-20. I emailed. That was in 2023 August. That was when I got the admission. So I emailed and they said by January, February, I'll get a response from them. By then the
Mm.
budget has been approved, so they will know the funding and all of that. So we got to January, as I still don't heard anything from them, and at that time too, because I had my I-20, I had already bought the MRV and
Ah,
scheduled for it. And soon as entered the portal, I saw 7th March. That was 2024.
ah,
Yeah, so I just picked the date. Yeah, then waiting to hear from the department because I already got an admission, waiting to hear from them
ah.
about the funding. And it got to March, January, February, March. I emailed them, still not approved. So I should keep on waiting. And the date I got to, well, I was taking a risk. I didn't want to risk schedule it because my funding was not in. So I just wanted to, go get a bank statement, go to the interview. If it doesn't work out, definitely in the course of the year, March is very early and
Yeah,
school starts in August. I have about 5 months. I can still get another date,
with
you
funding.
know,
Yeah,
with good hunting and then, yes, and then go for the interview. So I took the risk to go for the interview on the 7th March without
funding. And you were
funding, with
approved.
just a bank statement. And yes,
Wow,
and I was
nice.
approved. Yeah.
Can you tell me about your visa interview experience? How did it go? Why do you think? Because the first one too, you didn't have any funding, and you went and you were denied.
Yeah, the first
Okay,
one
first
was
one was partial,
partial.
and this one
It
no
was
funding.
partial.
Different schools, and also
Yes,
was
yes,
it the same
different.
program, cybersecurity?
Yeah,
Okay,
the
so
same.
what do you
The same.
think made the magic for you? Because I feel like it's kind of complicated, for you to be approved.
Yeah, well, I feel the first one, the cost of attendance in
Hmm.
general was very huge, and the funding too was small, and the deficit was nearing about 22,000. The deficit was even closer to the cost of attendance of 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel with the second one. And the university also gives all international students $1,000 for free. Once you're an international student and you are admitted, you'll be given $1,000. That's the term it world ready scholarship. So when you come to campus, they will
Oh,
disperse the
wow.
money to you and all of that. So that one was on my I-20. Yeah. So taking that amount out, you'll be left with around 23,000. So I think they felt 23,000 is,
Hmm.
not that kind of too huge. Yeah, and that with the bank statement I had, my sponsor would be able to, pay. And so
Wow.
that's the main reason why
Do
I
you remember
was
some of the questions you
approved.
asked and how you answered them? Not exactly how it happened, but just more like a
Yeah.
general picture.
Yeah, so they asked me where I'm going, and then I told her I'm going to Fort Hayes to study a 2 years master of professional studies in cybersecurity. My course is a course based, and I mentioned some of the courses and some of the projects. I'll be doing all of that. And then she asked me who'll be paying for this, and I mentioned my sponsor's name, and she asked me of the financial document. That's the bank statement. So I handed it over to her. She flipped. It was actually a business statement of about 95
Wow.
pages. So she flipped. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She flipped through and then asked me, has the sponsor traveled before? And I said, yeah. And she asked, has he sponsored anyone before? And I said, yeah, some of my siblings and all of that. And she checked the computer and said she see from the feedback that I was denied
Yeah.
on the 27th July. What has changed? And I said, my cost of attendance for the first one was very high relative to this one. And I think my sponsor can pay without any payment plan or anything like that. Then she was just nodding and said, okay, have you traveled before? I said, no, this will be my first time. I said, okay, someone will be approving your visa, blah, blah,
Wow.
blah, blah. Yeah. So that was,
I mean,
yeah.
I feel like your story is very complicated, but yeah, good job. Good job, actually. Yeah. And what about the school? Did you eventually get funding?
Yes, yes, I did. I did. Not in my department. They never approved, you know, that
Funding.
funds for
Okay.
the department. Yes, but then I got from
How
the
did they get
international
funding from the
office.
international office?
Yeah, so over here we have a reg day where they
Hmm.
post campus jobs,
Okay.
jobs for graduates. Students. So since I had,
Admission.
I
Yeah.
had an admission and then also the institutional email of the school. I was able to
Yeah.
log in, create an account. So almost all the jobs and assistantships they were posting, I was
Hmm.
getting access to them whilst I was in Ghana. So that was where I got the opportunity to apply
So,
to some
how
of
many of them? Do
yeah.
you remember
So
how many you applied to of those assistantships?
yeah, I applied to three
Okay.
of them. I think one was with the I think the grad school
Yeah.
had some positions, the international office had some positions, and there was one professor hiring students
Lab.
for
Okay.
his lab. It's like a media lab. Yeah, so he needed students. So I applied to all these three, and then I had interviews with them, but I was able to get with the
Mm.
international office.
How
Yeah.
did you get the international office one? What do you remember the questions they asked you during the interview, and also what you said, and what made you stand out? If you remember. If you don't remember, we can move on with from that.
Okay, so I think
Yeah.
after applying, they reached out about they reached out to us, those who they have selected, with some, I think about 4 questions that we should do a 5 minutes video answering those questions and then upload it on a drive for them. So I did. I don't really
Mm.
remember the questions, but we did. I did, and then I uploaded them, and then they emailed me saying, "Okay, now I'm qualified to the next stage. Now they want to interview me." So I was interviewed by the DSO and some 2 other people who work at the
Yeah.
international office. And I think later on I'll receive an email that
Mm.
I've been selected, and this is
Yeah.
offer letter. Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's yeah, good job. You know, people back home, some of them, they will look at an interview like this and they will think it's the norm. They don't know how difficult some of these things are for you to be able to get funding from another department. So, but what about your own department? Have they reached out to you about the possibility of giving you funding?
Yeah, okay, so they did not. So when I got to campus, I went to the department, I spoke to them, and they were like, the computer science department, it's a very new one, and I'm part of the second
Of
batch.
students?
I mean, they are starting with, yeah, of students. Yeah, so it's not that the program at the school is not that strong for them to give them funds. So I should. That's the main reason why I didn't hear from them. And I was like, I'm even now working with the international office, so maybe in the next academic year, if they should get, I'm available, and then
Yeah.
they can consider.
So
Yeah,
they made it look like they are going to give you funding and all of that. You kept on writing emails. At the end of the
yeah,
day, I mean,
yeah.
man, this thing it's not easy. Oh. So easy.
It's not easy.
But did you have any challenges in the process, like from application to the full funding that you got? Did you have any challenges like application materials, recommendation, and all of that?
No, okay. With the application materials, everything was accessible to me, and recommendation because I had my national service at the
Ah,
University of Cape with, with at the
hmm,
student record session. Yeah,
yeah,
like the administration. So boss was well readily
yeah,
available to give me recommendations. He was also
that's nice.
encouraging me to
Oh,
apply,
wow.
and then
Yeah.
yeah. So with recommendations, it
Mm,
wasn't much of a problem.
yeah.
So yeah.
And do you remember how much you spent in the process? 40,
Okay.
did you get waiver or
So
something?
I,
Yeah.
no, I paid
Oh,
application fee
okay.
of $50. Yes, and I
Oh, wow.
evaluated my transcript as well.
That's like almost
Yeah,
$300.
and yeah,
Huh.
yeah, yeah, almost.
And what about the other schools? You
So
paid, right? Delaware.
yeah, the
Hey,
other
no,
school,
not Delaware,
yeah, the other
Baltimore.
school, yeah, Baltimore I paid. No,
Okay.
Baltimore was free. Baltimore was free. Yeah, but it requested
Okay.
evaluation, so I had to pay extra $45
Yeah,
to
that's
be sent
more
to.
like paying the application fee again. Yeah. And what about
Yeah, yeah,
Montclair?
yeah.
Did you pay?
Yeah, Montclair. Okay, so I had
Okay.
a waiver because of those
Oh, okay,
online information
nice.
sessions. I had a waiver.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I mean, you spent close to $300, right? Oh,
yeah,
probably, yeah,
yeah, yeah. I
man.
spent.
No, I said no, $400. I actually meant $400.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the thing. People always try to avoid application fee, but you have to be open. If you have to evaluate your transcripts,
yeah,
do it
that's,
because yeah, it is costly, but that is just you cannot just be there
yeah,
and be chasing free application fees and expect to come to the US. It doesn't work like that. There are people who say, "Oh, I don't want to
yeah,
evaluate my
yeah.
transcript; it's expensive," or "I don't want to take the GRE; it's hard." But it's work. Everything is work.
It increases your chance. Yeah, yeah, it
Yeah,
increases your chance. So yeah, I always encourage people if you have the money, you should do it because it
yeah,
will definitely pay off. Yeah, you get access to
yeah,
so many schools. There won't
yeah,
be any limit because any school you see, you
yeah,
qualify. Under no circumstance would they say West evaluation, you have it already,
yeah.
English proficiency, you are already studying in Ghana, so
So it
you
was waived
get
for you,
it.
right?
So you'll be able to apply
English,
all those things because Ghana is
so
part
it
of
was
the
waived.
English speaking
Okay,
country, so it's
yeah, that's
uh,
good. Uh, you know, people uh people have this argument about cold emails and all of that, you know. And I think you mentioned sending a lot of cold emails. Did that help you in any way?
Yeah.
Because your
Yeah.
program
Okay.
is
So
computer, your program probably requires that kind of thing to have a supervisor and all of that, right?
yeah, yeah. So I sent a couple of code emails, especially University of Baltimore. Yeah, but the professor reached out and said they only give research assistantships to graduate students in the
They
second
don't like
semester.
that thing. Yeah,
Yes, the second semester. So that didn't work
yeah.
for me. And it's the forte to, if not because I sent code email for them to encourage me to apply, I wouldn't have applied because
Some
I needed
information.
to get response from a school
Mm,
before I can start the application. I
yeah,
didn't want to just throw
yeah. You
money
send the
away.
email to the
Yeah,
coordinator,
so
right? What about professors in the school?
to the
Yeah, just a
no,
coordinator
no,
to
no,
find
I
out
didn't.
something. Yeah, that's typically the
Yeah,
main thing about emails, actually. But uh, wow.
yeah.
You know, I actually came across your school when I was doing a live session, and then I discovered that your school
Okay.
requires a minimum GPA of 2.5 for admission. So I was like, oh, okay, wow, nice,
Yes.
nice. Yeah. Was that part of your consideration when you're applying?
No, I didn't.
So
I
you
didn't
got
even
there.
know until I.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And so you did your visa interview, you were approved, and then you went home, you started packing your stuff. Did you reach out to a
Yeah.
Ghanaian in the school?
Yes. I. In fact, I reached out to a Ghanaian professor at
Oh,
the same
wow.
department.
Ah,
Yes.
computer
I
science,
reached out to
is it
him.
computer science or cyber security or the same department?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's kind of a different. It's supposed to be in the same department, but I
Okay.
don't know why. For whatever reason, it's the cybersecurity is at
Oh,
the
okay.
informatics department. Yeah, and the computer science is also at
Hmm.
a different department.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you reached out to
so
him.
I, I reached out to him,
Hmm.
Professor Kwachi. He's
Oh,
living
okay.
in Ghana at the moment, so I'm finding out. At that time, too, I had not heard from them, so I wanted to find out if he had some research that he could,
Yeah.
consider me, give me some funds. And he said, oh, he was a new lecturer. This is, I think, his
Hmm.
second or third year, so he's now putting things in place. Yeah, and so I think I was communicating with him even after I got a visa. Yeah, and one thing he did was, I don't know. I came to campus and then he told me he has bought some stuff
Oh,
for
wow.
me, like pillows,
Nice.
mattresses,
Wow.
and all of that.
Huh.
I was shocked
Wow.
he was doing all that.
Nice.
Not knowing when I sent him my CV, he saw the name of my high school and then was like, that was the same high school
What's the high
he
school?
went
What's
to.
the name of the
So
high school?
he St. Peter's Senior High
What's
School.
the name?
So yeah,
St. Peter's. Okay,
St.
okay.
Peter's
Oh,
Senior High,
nice.
St. Peter's.
Ah.
So he saw it and
I
was
mean,
like,
you didn't have to spend a lot at the beginning. Normally, when you come, you have to buy a
yeah,
lot of things at the beginning, which is not easy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
was he the one who picked you up at the airport?
He, No, he didn't, but he was ready to do it. They connected me to some other Ghanaians who were here, and then they were
Hmm.
also really helpful. You know, they picked me from the airport, and I stayed with them for, I think, 2 weeks before my accommodation and everything was ready, and I moved in. Yeah.
And how did you get the accommodation? Who did you look for it online?
Okay. The guys, the Ghanaian guys over here assisted us. They had a portal that you could log on and then look for accommodation. But then if you're in Ghana, I don't think you get access
Ah.
unless you're in the US. So they did it and then they were sending us pictures, do like this, do like that. This is the price and all of that. So I think we got it, but the burdens and all of that were not ready. So I had to lodge with them for some time. And later, when I got those things, then I moved to my
You
apartment.
were
Yeah.
using we. You and who?
Oh, I came with one guy. He's a biology student, and yeah, we came. I think I came before him. I came then. He came. He came later, but I came before him. Yeah, but we all came to lodge at the guy's place. I think about we spent 2 weeks here because we were I don't know how to say it, but they were entertaining
You
us.
guys were too
They
comfortable.
welcomed us, so we were feeling yeah, we were too comfortable. Even though our place was ready, but we were feeling reluctant,
Ah,
like we were just
oh,
here
okay.
having fun and love. That's
Mm.
part of the reasons why
That guy is also
we
from
came
UCC, right?
down here.
UCC biology department. Oh, okay.
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
yeah. This is
Did
biology
you know him before
department.
he
Yeah,
came?
he did. He did
Forensic. Okay.
forensic science, but he's doing
Did you know him before he
yeah,
came to the US, or you
yeah.
guys met in the US?
We met in a group after he posted his transcripts, and then I DM'd him that I'm also
Ah,
going to the same school, so
nice,
we can link
nice.
accommodations together. So currently, I'm even in the
Ah,
same apartment
nice,
with him.
nice.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
how many Ghanaians are in the school? Like, if you have any general idea, how many?
Yeah,
13,
we are 14.
14.
14.
Ah,
14.
that's not
Yeah,
bad.
14.
Especially given the
Yeah,
fact that
yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
know anything about 40s until recently. So, yeah,
Yeah,
wow, that's nice.
it's
So you
14.
arrive in the US, and then now we have a burger and all of that. Um, uh,
Yeah,
in terms of your academics, right? How does that compare
yeah.
with Ghana? Is it hard here? Is it easy? Is it okay? Like, what do
Okay.
you, what,
When we started class, that was
yeah,
August 19th. The first 2 weeks, I nearly gave up because they they have this online platform
Blackboard, yeah.
Blackboard that they
Hmm.
uploaded the course materials, your table, and all those kind of stuff over there. So it was initially locked. So right on
Open,
the
yeah,
19th, it was open end. I saw first quiz, just first week, like first quiz
what
assignment.
is going
I was
on?
like, and then and the pages you have to read
Yeah,
before you submit
yeah,
those quizzes to do those assignments were no small, like
yeah,
was tough. So I couldn't even meet the deadline. I had to email the professor to
yeah,
extend it for me because it was new to me. Yeah. But then after the 2 weeks, I
yeah.
started, putting things in place and then knowing how to manage my time, and
Hmm.
now I think it's
Nice.
perfect.
And
Yeah.
the
So
semester went well, right?
oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
It did.
But
Yeah. Even the program is tough, but when you know what you are
yeah,
doing, then you focus. You know, and over here the lecturers are willing to help. Ready to easily accessible
yeah.
anytime. So
How did they compare with Ghanaian professors?
these people are readily
Yeah, office
available,
hours.
like anytime. Yeah, office hours sometimes
Yeah,
1 on 1. In the office studies, but I don't think you have that opportunity in Ghana. You have a lecturer, and the lecturer 1 on 1 in his
yeah.
office to
What
teach you
happened?
this or that.
What happened? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But have you faced any
So,
challenges, relating to any other thing, so far?
mm,
Hmm.
not,
What about your
not, not,
funding?
not,
Is
not
it
yet.
good enough to take care of all your needs?
Okay, even though the funding at the international office wasn't the tuition
Hmm.
wasn't waived 100%. I was given inputs, and because this place the cost of living is very low, yeah, and because of that, even the little stipend I'm able to save some to clear,
Yeah, the fees. Yeah.
the remaining. Yeah, yeah. Just that the health insurance is sometimes the problem because it's two
Man,
thousand a
health
year,
insurance.
and even that one, yeah,
Health insurance is.
mhm,
Yeah.
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 So
And
I think
yeah, yeah.
overall is.
I see you have a lot of certifications, like you combining school and then taking all these certifications. Why are they important to you?
Yeah, okay. So with the certifications, one thing I've realized is I've started looking out for internships, and most of the cybersecurity,
Jobs.
this
Hmm.
kind of programs, jobs, they require you to have certification, even though you have a degree in them. They expect you to have certifications, specific certifications, yet to be able to get into the job. Yeah, for them to know you are really, prepared and ready for the job. Yeah, that's why. I've started with those certifications.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think, and also, this kind of
Yeah.
EB2 and
Yeah.
IW thing, they have
Mm.
certifications and all of
Oh,
that. They
yeah.
all play major roles.
Mm.
Yeah, so I think I'm looking forward to, get more
Nice.
even by the time
Yeah.
I complete.
Yeah. And how do you spend your holidays? You mentioned Professor Kwachi, right? He's gone to Ghana. Do you also
Yeah,
plan to
yeah,
go to
yeah,
Ghana
yeah,
very
yeah.
soon?
For now, I've
Uh,
not thought of that. No, but then maybe sometime to come, I would have the capacity and then,
and the
yes, the
ability.
edge to go. But
Yeah.
now I'm not yet
Mm.
ability, yes. But now I'm not
Yeah. You need
stable
time. Yeah.
to
But what about the
yes,
holidays? What did
yes,
you do?
yes. And well, the holidays, I think the first 2 weeks we had the professors here, so almost every day, every evening, this is one thing that the Ghanaian professors over here, when you come and then we are all in the apartment, conversing and then talking about life, and you know even differentiate between
Yeah.
who is a student
That's
and who
true.
is a professor. So we all come together and then we talking and then all of that. We converse and sharing opportunities, advice because they have been here for long. They have schooled here, they know the system better.
They'll
So
tell you everything you
they
need to know.
sit us
Mm.
down, they will advise us, we talk, we eat, everything, we have fun. Yeah, until they left to Ghana. I think two of them they left for holidays in Ghana. And we are left with the students here. We are
So which
managing.
means they are just two Ghanaian professors, right?
Yeah, two Ghanaian professors, two of them. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I think there are three. Three. Yeah, there's one at the business school, so there are three.
Okay. So the other two, are they in the cybersecurity department or different? Or the other?
Yeah, one is in the computer science department, one is in
Yeah.
the
Okay.
biology
Mm,
department. Yeah.
nice. Nice. And since
Yeah.
you arrived, have you made any mistake? Is there anything that you consider, man? I wish I had known. You know,
Mm, no, not really. Because of the people we came to meet,
I told you
they've
guys everything. Mm,
really guided us. Yeah, and the professors they have really guided us to be on the right path, things to do, things not to
mm,
do, and all of that. So I think for now I'm on the
mm.
right track.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 And so, do you have any plans for the future? Is there something that you're looking forward to that you want to do? You know,
Mm, in
just
terms of
anything in life,
academics,
maybe, the internship. Have you applied to some and are you looking forward to
so
replies?
for yeah, yeah, yeah. Just I think just yesterday I had one interview,
Oh,
so I'm
nice,
looking for it
nice.
to get
Like you had the interview, right?
the
You said you had the interview.
response. From, I had an
Hmm,
interview with a
nice,
company.
nice.
Yeah,
Congrats. Congrats. I
yeah.
hope it goes well.
Well,
Yeah.
yes, yes. So I'm still on
Hmm,
it. We are still applying, looking
yeah,
for what comes
nice.
out, and then we are
Yeah.
looking for the best. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that is it.
there are so many people on the study abroad journey. A lot of people, I come across people who have tried for 3 years, 2 years, and all of that with no success. The fact that, you tried 1 year, your visa was denied, and you went again and all of that, you probably know a lot, you've gone through the process, you know what it takes
Yeah.
to succeed and all of that. What can you tell these people?
But I'll say personally, if I had gotten somebody to guide me, like one on one, I don't think I would have even been denied
Mm,
in the first place. Because throughout the process, it was my knowledge and videos online, like the Freddy First, and then people like you and some other people. Yeah, so that was what guided me, and then I also learned some mistakes, and then corrected them for the second one. Yeah, so and this time around, there are so many
yeah,
study abroad videos online for students to learn from, and I think one major, problem is funds. I'll say it's funds. Yeah, because it's in as much as it's not that much costly, but it is, let's say if it doesn't even cost you at all for let's say about $600-$700, considering evaluation, application fees, um MRV
tell
and all
you,
those kind of stuff, service
yeah,
fee, when you have to when you have to look at when you have to look at it in a broader way, it's going to cost
yeah,
about $700 to $800. Yeah. So I think lack of funds too
yeah,
is a factor. That's why, most of these people are looking out for free
Yeah.
schools, free, and then there's free schools too. There are a lot of
Yeah.
people, a lot of pressure. So sometimes that's the main issue. But then I know if you put in hard work and then you were able to, I mean, email professors. Sometimes when you are lucky, some
Yeah.
professors you might not know. They may even, yeah, I mean, required you may even, because I once listened to somebody's story. A professor helped pay the
Yeah.
application fee, even the
Yeah.
flight tickets and all of that. So it's all
Yeah.
grace and hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you personally, uh, what exactly, like, if let's say you wanna, assuming you wanna come again, right? Assuming you're not here, you are in Ghana, you wanna come. What do you think you would do to make you get funding before you even come? Not funding from a different department, but funding from your department. Do you think you can do that? And what can you do to make you get that kind of funding?
Okay. Okay. So first of all,
Yeah.
before I'll come, um, I'll just the program I want to read. I'll just first of all check the university website to see whether they have whether graduate assistantships, other T's or R's for students in that
Yeah.
department. If they have that one, two, how to get one. Email a coordinator or a lecturer, anybody who is in charge who
Yeah.
can give you information to get a positive
Yeah.
response before you
Mm,
put in the application. Once you get a response from them, they know this person has reached out, and I think they are the same people who are going to
mm,
review the application, so they will definitely know this application, this person has emailed
mm,
us before or something like that. And then once you get the admission, you can reach back to them and say, "Hi, Prof. I've been admitted to the program, and as we discussed, are the funding, I mean, still available, or what are the ways I can apply to get the funding? What do I have to do? Every information about this study abroad,
yeah.
you can get it from the
Yeah.
professors or the departments. Any questions you have, you can get it from them. So once they give you the assurance or they give you the go ahead to apply, you have about 60% chance. So once you get the admission, if the funding requires you to get a
Yeah.
professor in the department, they will let you know. So you email um, professors whom your
Mm,
research interests align with, this. Or if it is a TA and you need to apply separately, I think after admission, like for his, you have a workday portal that you can go on, and then they post all the accounting assistantships, all the other department, the assistantship. You apply. When they review, they call for interview, and then when based on your performance you qualify, I
mm,
think you'll be given.
yeah. That makes
So
sense.
that
Yeah,
is
that's
it. Yeah.
that's really detailed. Yeah. And you
Okay.
personally, if you should give me an advice, right? On a scale of 100, how much
Mhm.
funding do you think, you've experienced the US, you know how the system is and all of that. How much funding do
Yeah.
you think
Yeah.
I should have before I process my visa? So in terms of the percentage, how much do you think at least I can manage, in your opinion?
You know, no, I don't. Let me get your question right. Funding. Are you referring to
Yeah,
funding
funding
from
from
the school?
from the school department, wherever. But the point is, let's say your cost of attendance is
Okay.
100K. How much? Okay, 100K is
Okay.
probably a bit too much. Let's say 50K, right? How much funding
Okay.
is enough for me to, take the offer up and come and process the visa?
Well, I would say from my experience, I would say it depends on the cost of
Yeah, so let's say
attendance.
cost of attendance is fifty
When your
thousand.
cost of
Yeah,
is 50,000 and you're able to get funding of, let's say, 20,000, it's so
it's thirty
huge. The
thousand. Yeah,
deficit is so huge.
that's sixty
Yes,
percent.
it's so huge. But if your cost of attendance is 50,000 and you're able to get, let's say a partial tuition waiver, or let's say a full tuition waiver in addition with, stipend, and you're able to get 40,000, 38,000, 45,000, you
Okay.
should come. You get it, yeah. Because in that case, your deficit is somewhere around,
Yeah,
let's say
that one you
10,000,
can manage. Yeah.
12,000, yeah. And Yeah, you can manage,
Sounds
even though it's not
excellent.
easy, but then you can manage.
So, which
Yeah,
means that if I
yeah,
have funding of 38,000 out of let's say if I have less than
50,000.
38,000 out of 50, I shouldn't come, right? But if I have more than if I have 38 and above, then I should come.
Well, even if you have 35,000,
Okay,
you should come. Even
that
30,000
can
out
also
of
help.
50,000. Well, yeah, that can also help, but it will depend on where the deficits, the remaining deficits is. Sometimes the remaining deficits can be,
Tuition,
um,
living expenses. Okay,
living expenses. When it is living
yeah,
expenses, it's manageable.
it's
But when it is
crazy.
tuition, it's
Yeah,
money that you are going to pay.
yeah,
Yeah, so you should have it
yeah,
readily available. Yeah, so it all depends on where that
yeah.
deficit, is allocated. Yeah,
That's really true. Yeah, this I have learned so much like from this conversation, like so much from this conversation. And I'm very sure that my subscribers
yeah,
are going to appreciate this a lot. Now, if they want
yeah.
to contact you, reach out to you or follow you, where can they do that? LinkedIn. Only
Yeah,
LinkedIn?
LinkedIn. Well, the others
Mm,
are not really active. Yeah, I just go there to read
yeah,
comments. I'm not really active
yeah.
on, X and Instagram and
You're
the
not are you
others.
not
Yeah,
are
I'm
you on
just
TikTok?
LinkedIn. I just go and watch videos. I don't really have an
Uh,
active account.
okay.
Yeah,
Because when
yeah, yeah.
I make this
Yeah, I
long
just
video, I post a lot of shots on TikTok. Then I tag whoever I am
okay.
interviewing, I tag the person so that if anyone wants to check the person
Okay.
out, then the
Well,
person can check the person out. But
okay, sure, sure. Then I'll
yeah,
give you my account. But then it's not really. I just go
uh,
to TikTok to,
yeah,
watch videos and then
yeah.
yeah,
You know, this is funny, but let me say it. When I moved to the US, right, years ago,
yeah.
I took a few pictures and people started saying, why has your lips suddenly become pink? Like what has changed? Why is it pink like that? So, have you had comment like yours look? I mean, it's not like when I said yours, it felt like my it's my not natural like that kind of thing. But yeah, it looks natural, right? But have you had people saying, "Hey, now this your lips. Hey, Papa, what the hell, Jama?"
Oh, those okay. Those who know me back home knows like that's how it was when I was back then. So
So you've not had any
yeah,
comments,
it's not
right, from
bad people
anyone
who
saying, oh, okay. It looks
like
natural, actually. It's
my
natural. So,
friends, yeah, my mates, they know. I mean, that's how it
mm,
was when I was in Ghana. So
yeah. And your mates,
yeah,
are you the only one from that department who is in the US, or there are other people as well in the US? Like I mean, the US. Oh, okay,
yeah, I know of
nice.
two. Yeah, yeah. One is in Ohio
Oh, okay.
University, and then one is having a PhD in
Oh, okay,
Iowa
nice, nice,
University.
nice. So, Sammy, thanks a lot, and yeah, do you want to say shout out to anybody? Do you want to say hi to anybody in Ghana, anywhere, like,
Oh, okay. So, well, there's this friend of mine I'm
to come here,
assisting
right?
to. I mean, apply to school in
Okay.
the yeah. Shout out to him.
Mm,
He's called Dennis. Yeah, he's a very
nice.
good friend of mine, and so maybe by end of
Yeah.
this year
Yeah,
he will be
hopefully.
in the
Yeah.
US. Yeah.
Mm,
So, and there are a lot of people I'm also assisting, and I
nice.
think, uh, yeah, from the
Things
feedback
are
I'm
going well.
getting, it's like
Mm,
everything is good.
yeah,
Yeah, things are going
that's
well
nice. That's
because
kind of you. Yeah.